podcaster at Two Wolf Studio with an awesome artist, Matt Spezia, a poet, four-time award-winning over the last 4 years even, right?
Last 3 years.
Last 3 years. Doing some amazing stuff. So, man, introduce yourself like as what you do as an artist, as a poet.
Yeah, so I get to do a lot of really awesome stuff. First of all, it's absolutely a team effort. Everything that I do I cannot do any of this without the support, love, and honestly the involvement of the community around me. I just want to say that first of all, but I get to travel all around. I just got back from Las Vegas. I was in Chicago the week before that. I get to travel around doing poetry and doing my hip-hop music now. I call it rhythm-assisted poetry. Basically hip-hop with consciousness. I've been very blessed to win 4 national awards and double-digit other awards in the last 3 years and bring it all back to Topeka, Kansas. And I really believe in not only building the community by going outside of it, but bringing those connections back into it. And I get to work with schools a lot. I work at Highland Park. I teach debate and forensics there. So I get to do a lot of community efforts and really get to enjoy the fact that this community supports me so much, and I try to give back as much as I can.
Yeah, man. Well, I've got to know the funnest part about hearing about somebody's journey. I love to follow all your stuff on Facebook and how you keep moving forward. But how did you get started?
Man, I got started, honestly, I played a lot of instruments from a very young age. I started playing guitar at about 10. I learned bass guitar at 12, and now I can pretty much fiddle around on anything that plays even remotely similar to a guitar. That really got me, inspired to actually make music. I've always had, a love for music. Some kids are like, oh, I want a video game. I want, the new Xbox and this new pair of shoes. I was always like, can I get this music, though? It's like, my favorite band just dropped this. Let me get that for my present. And then I started making actual music, like putting words to it. Realized I can't sing, can't carry a tune if you handed me a bucket. So I have transitioned into then poetry. That went into slam poetry. I put music back to it and created rhythm-assisted poetry.
And you just released another album just like last Tuesday, is that what it was?
Yeah, so we released Babylon, my first professional album. We had Poetry in Motion and Dual Psychosis that I released independently, but thanks to all the lovely souls out there in the team effort that I talked about, I was able to get signed with CX1 and E&E, their Atlantic record affiliate, and we released Babylon. That's been doing really well. That's all over the nation. I just sent out more copies to Chicago, a couple out to Emporia, and then out to Reno, Nevada, out to California. So it's going all over the country. It's been out to Ghana. It's really an incredible thing. But we just put out a new track. That's going to be off the mixtape that's dropping in just a couple months. We're getting to the required track list on that. That's called Fake Soul, and that caused some serious fun stuff. I had a guy actually track my number down to call me to tell me how much he loved that track.
So Fake Soul's not on Babylon?
No, that is going to be on the new project releasing in November.
Okay, how do we get Babylon?
So you can go to mattspeziamusic.com, Matt Spezia, S-P-E-Z as in zebra, I-A music.com, if you don't want to make me pay 1,000 third parties. But if you have a favorite platform, it's available wherever you buy music.
Yeah. Well, man, another thing I love to hear about what you do is when you do stuff here local. You're all over the place. You in Chicago just recently. You're Kansas City. You're traveling doing your art, which is amazing. And so that's definitely a success. But some of my favorite stuff, because I'm here, is that some of the stuff you're doing here. What do you have coming up?
So we have a very huge event for Topeka, and I'm so hoping it goes very well. I've been putting a lot of time and effort into this. October 6th, I'm bringing the Rock Yo City Tour to Topeka, Kansas. That involves Atlantic Records, E&E, and CX1, and we're looking for talent. They're impressed by what I'm doing. I said, I am all kinds of not alone. Please come see how awesome this city is.
So you already have a bunch of people that's showing up with talent, but you're also saying, hey, we got some guys here too.
Yeah, exactly. The vast majority of the booking, except for myself and 2 of my label mates, are going to be local area artists.
And where'd you say the show's going to be?
It's going to be at the Booby Trap on October 6th. It's only $30 to perform. That gets you in front of Atlantic Records, in front of E&E E&E Entertainment in front of CX1 DJs, actively looking for talent. Like, I'm talking pen and paper in the building. Like, we're actively looking for more talent. We're trying to build this even more. And
so this is an opportunity to be seen by the promoters, producers.
yeah, these are A&Rs. They're the people that, make music happen. They're the ones that'll sign you to a deal. These are the people that, if you want to make national and international music, you have to be involved with.
Awesome. So you're signed with E&E.
I'm signed with E&E and CX1.
CX1 also. And so how did you get signed with that?
Years of hard work, honestly, years of hard work and amazing team effort. The community's lifted me to a point where I was having the amount of success that, gets seen by these labels. We had, probably 3 months of conversation, and I drove down to Atlanta after I had after I had a show in Texas. Drove down to Atlanta, signed the contract, and now I'm a professional artist for at least the next 10 years.
That's awesome, man. And let's get back to home. So where'd you go to high school?
I went to high school in Lansing, Kansas, a little tiny town right next to Leavenworth. I grew up right outside of Lansing Penitentiary. I'm talking like the distance from the building we're sitting in to the building across the street, like literally a 2-lane street across from Lansing Penitentiary.
So what would you tell another youth that was like thinking about doing something with their writing abilities, with their poetry, with their love for music? What would you tell them to help inspire them to like move forward?
Yeah, so first of all, do it. Like, don't let anybody hold you back on that. Poetry and performance really changed my life. Like, I wouldn't have any idea where I'd be without that. And the piece of advice, like the nugget of advice that I would have to give is don't ever doubt yourself, because there's going to be millions of people who do.
Confidence.
Don't be one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always somebody ready to shoot you down. You don't need to shoot yourself down.
Exactly. And embrace those people that be hating on you. That's what blows my mind about some people. They're like, man, I don't like haters. Like, what do you mean? Haters be the first people to interact with your stuff, because they want to see what you're doing. Like, those are the people who will buy the front row ticket. Those are the people that buy the album first. Like, I'm telling you, haters are a good thing.
The haters and all that kind of wording, but it goes back to some old saying of no good deed goes unpunished. When you're doing something good, there's always going to be somebody hating on it, and that's part of that whole deal, man. So you got your booby trap thing coming up. You just recently went to Chicago.
Yeah, so that was the National Award Weekend. That was the National Spoken Word Awards, and for the 3rd year in a row, thanks to popular vote, the committee picks who gets nominated in the categories, but it's popular vote to see who wins.
It's like a people's choice.
Yeah, you got to get your fans involved in it. If you don't have them, then sucks to suck.
So what'd you bring home?
I brought home for the 3rd year in a row the Slam Artist of the Year award.
Damn, man, congratulations on that. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
National.
That's my 4th national award, bringing the total award count across a multitude of organizations to 15 nominations.
That's pretty badass, man. So the next time anybody can see you will be at the Booby Trap.
Next time you'll be able to see me live is the Booby Trap, but you can...
The date?
October 6th. It's
October
$30 to
6th.
perform. It's only $20 to come see it. We're starting at 4 p.m. We're running it until midnight. You're getting an 8-hour concert for $20.
And that's the first thing local, but do you have anything else?
So I'll be going down to Atlanta here in just a little bit to record more music videos. I got to get in the studio down there. We're going to start working on the next album, but the mixtape we're finishing up right now. So I got a lot of clerical and studio time in front of me, not a whole bunch of shows, but starting in February of next year, my shows will start picking back up again, and we got some big stuff planned for then.
That's pretty awesome, man. I mean, you're not stop creating. You never stop creating. Just because you created and just published an album, you're like, it's still bubbling inside.
Yeah, I mean, the album's not even 3 months old, and we're, the album dropped June 25th, and
that's beautiful.
Gosh, it was probably July 10th that we were like, okay, we're gonna start working on this mixtape.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I mean, that's good stuff. That's when you know you're on fire and you're doing it, man. And I appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate you being here too and talking about things,
too, man. It's always,
yeah.
You were one of the first that really believed in me in this community. So anytime I get to do something with you, it always means a lot.
It always feels good when you say that, brother. I mean it too. And I thought about that earlier. One of your first featured gigs, at least, was at Two Wolves.
Absolutely. Back in the Noto location. I think that was my second feature ever.
Yeah,
was at Two Wolves.
And that was, I was looking at some video of that earlier tonight and was just like, man, that was some awesome stuff. I I love it when you do your thing, man, and I appreciate you came here for our open mic on Thursday nights, and you threw down, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you not forgetting your hometown, because you're kicking ass, man. You're doing it, so, you know.
It started here. It's my responsibility after being lifted from here to the national scene to turn right back around and be like, there's so much more awesome people here.
There is. And you agree? Topeka is a great arts town?
Oh, Topeka's an amazing arts town, and we have a really huge opportunity with a lot of different sections to make Topeka the actual capital of Kansas art again.
Capital of Kansas art. I like that, brother.
Absolutely, man.
Thanks, man.
I appreciate you having me.
All right. Thank you, brother. Yeah.